Motor City Sports Talk. We back in the building. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, and we really back with another Detroit video. We're talking about the Pistons. I know you read the title, so you already know what it is. Don't forget, so we can start running on Instagram and Twitter. To hit the links and subscribe or follow us on Twitter, or or Instagram as well. And then Facebook, you haven't liked us on Facebook. Trust me, we do some good work on there as well. But we back. Y'all know who it is. Narrating, it's your boy CJ Goodfella. We on the push to 1,000. I definitely appreciate everybody that subscribed, friends, that helped the page grow, and everybody else, man, because at one point, most of y'all guys who've been with me, from the beginning, I gave up on the page after, the situation that happened with the page just kept getting reported for no reason. And a lot of you guys, helped me push through that, so I appreciate it. And now we closing in on 1,000 subscribers, man. And think about it, I quit the page for a few months and quitted it. Had to quit it for a couple more weeks in between there. And, we almost to 1,000 subscribers in under a year. So that's a great thing. September will be our 1-year anniversary. I got some great things lined up. Trust me, brothers. Really great things lined up for the show. And hopefully, if some people want to come on, and we have some people come on, we could talk some football and some basketball as those seasons approach. And hopefully I'm trying to get in tune with the Tigers, man. Excuse me. I don't have that much time to watch baseball like that. But talking about what's the Blake Griffin trade, man. Most people was labeling it a failure. I probably came on here, was a little bit, kind of emotional about it, at the time, as it was a failure. But I think the jury's still out on the Blake Griffin trade where we traded Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, and, Boban, who's starring in the new Equalizer video as the Assassin, the big 7-foot whatever center we had. And I liked him a lot. But honestly, I think the jury's still out on this trade, man. I don't think it's a complete failure. I mean, we only got the 12th pick, and there ain't that many great guys there at 12. I mean, most of the top guys in the draft would be gone. Michael Porter Jr., which I think may be the class of the draft, is going to slide. And if Cleveland is lucky, they'll get him. But Colin Sexton probably be gone by there, and Trey Young, obviously Marvin Bagley, Luke Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Bo Baymang, I can't remember the big tall guy from Texas. So a lot of the blue chippers by number 12 in the draft would have been gone. So I think that takes away a little bit of the oomph, away from that, from the trade, where a lot of the sour taste in our mouths and talking about, we could have had a draft pick. Our draft pick didn't even go high. We right there, we always is in that 8 to 12 lottery range in draft picks. We never bad, but we never terrible, but we always bad. We in that no man's lane in the draft picks, where obviously last year we passed up on Donovan Mitchell. That definitely could have changed the outlook on our whole team last year. And in previous years, passing up on Devin Booker and a variety of other people, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you name it, But I think the Blake Griffin trade ain't dead yet, man. Obviously, we keep our pick next year. Obviously, he plays some good basketball, so it depends on the coach, which position they want to play. Blake Griffin's been playing like a point power forward position, but he's definitely improved his game, though. When Chris Paul left, he legitimately put the Clippers on his back. I watched a lot of Clipper games. I don't know how. I like the Lakers as well, too, but I watched a lot of Clipper games. It was on TV, and he was putting the team on the back, hitting game winners. He improved his ball handling. The jump he made from, last year's offseason to this year, it kind of gives me a little bit of faith, a lot of faith, and Blake Griffin is going to transform his body and his game to fit what the Detroit Pistons need from him. And I think him and Andre Drummond can be dynamic, but the issue is the guard play, man. The guard play, with us not being able to draft and get free agents because of how we locked up in the cap space. That's the number one thing about it, man. The one thing about that trade with Blake Griffin, if you're going to mortgage the future, you got a big guy in Drummond, you want to get that guard or that dynamic point forward. And we didn't get that in the trade, and I'm not sure that was available last year for them to try to get, but we needed a point guard, man. We needed a creative shooting guard that created his own shot or point forward. And I think the Pistons kind of put their chips in the wrong basket with the Blake Griffin trade about just getting another big guy who could do some things on the perimeter and having a good season. I think they've seen dollar signs more than talent with Blake Griffin, and that he could sell a lot. But like I said, a year together, if Reggie Jackson healthy, which I don't have any faith in him, but he does play well for spurts, and then he goes erratic and think he's Westbrook 1.5. And Drummond, he's working on his game. I don't know why he's shooting step-back jumpers in the offseason. And Blake Griffin, I mean, that's not the worst core in the East at all. And obviously, the tides are going to change in the East with Kyrie coming back to Boston if they choose to keep him and Gordon Hayward coming back to Boston. Now, obviously, LeBron James moving where he moved to. Okay, so that's something to look at as well, fellas. But I don't think this trade is done. I think Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond could do some good things. I think Reggie Jackson can get some stability. And I think, a lot of the things are going to be hinged on how Reggie Bullock, how Stanley Johnson develop, and how Luke Kennard develops. Luke Kennard got to come in and start next year. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. He shoots the ball too well. He was drafted too high. And I think the guard play of Luke Kennard is very, very vital to the success of the Detroit Pistons. I already been on record saying it's dead. They had to break this core up and do something else. But I think Luke Kennard could be a glue guy. He's an excellent knockdown shooter. He can create some things. He's more athletic than we give him credit for. And if this Blake Griffin trade is ultimately going to work with Blake Griffin being here with Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond, in my opinion, it's going to be more hinged on Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard how good this team is going to be, man. Honestly. And the reason I say Luke Kennard is going to be that guy is because with the lack of jump shooting on this team, Luke Kennard and Reggie Bullock is going to have to space the floor. Whatever the other coach wants to do is to play Griffin at the point forward and he driving and creating for people. Reggie Bullock going to have to knock down shots. Stanley going to start knocking down shots. Luke Kennard is going to have to be the shooter we draft him to be and knock down shots. It's going to be imperative with Dre working on the inside that those guards are going to shoot, and Reggie Jackson is going to have to learn to bring stability to this offense. He's going to learn, when to let Blake Griffin, ISO on the wing. He's going to learn the pick and roll and how to be unselfish and let Dre get his. Off the pick and roll with Dre, he's going to have to find and hit Reggie Bullock in the corner, hit Luke Kennard. And it might just come down to Reggie Jackson might just not be a good point guard. You have to let Luke Kennard create and see if you can create an Ish Smith and Luke Kennard workout. But also defensively, Reggie Jackson going to have to defend. Drummond's going to step his defense up. And Blake Griffin going to have to commit on the defensive side. But Blake Griffin showed a lot of promise last year, even with the Pistons, having big scoring games, big rebounding game. Him and Drake can work. But it's going to really hinge on how well Reggie Jackson, Reggie Bullock shoots the ball, and Luke Kennard shoot the ball. Luke Kennard is going to have to make that jump. Reggie Bullock going to have to make that jump. He's made a jump. I believe that Reggie Bullock could always play. He was on the Clippers end of his bench. Got here, played the end of the bench, and I think they played him out of, let's see what we got at the end of the bench. And they put him off the defense, and he actually could play. So the Pistons do have some talent. It's going to be hinged on Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard, man. I know Blake Griffin and Dre, they got to improve on defense and come back stronger. But if the Pistons is going to be a 4 or 5 or 6, 7 for 8th seed, Luke Kennard got to shoot that thing and play and stretch the floor like we know he can. Reggie Jackson going to have to get this offense in tune. And Drummond and Dre and Blake Griffin got to do what they do. And Reggie Bullock and Stanley Johnson. If Stanley Johnson going to be a good defender, you know what? He going to have to learn how to shoot the ball, like Reggie Bullock. So you had the defenders, you got the players, for the most part. You got the glue guys. You won't be bringing in a big infusion of talent here. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a developmental player. Harry Ellison, it's going to time for him to play. You want to keep John Lure, he going to have to play. Ish Smith, Moreland, they going to have to, end up playing. The Pistons going to have to, the new coaches have to come here with a mindset and a new innovative offense and get to Reggie Jackson and get to Luke Kennard and let them know that they're the most important players that's going to be really keen in on this success. Because without this, the Pistons would not be successful with Blake Griffin doing what he doing and Dre doing what he did last year. That won't be successful. This team is only going to be successful as good as the shooting and the guard play is. And that's very vital. If Reggie Jackson come out this offseason, come out with his mind right, ready, willing, and able to get his teammates involved and kind of mature as a point guard, and Luke Kennard can make the jump and he can become a knockdown shooter and good a scorer, the Pistons will make the playoffs next year and the Blake Griffin trade will look like a success. But if you don't get that play from Reggie Jackson and that shooting from Bullock and Johnson and Luke Kennard don't grow, this team is exactly where I believe it's going to be. In my opinion, it's going to be in neutral. It's going to be in the same position it is this year, the 10 to 15 in the lottery, and you don't get better like that. And I'm still in favor of blowing this thing up because Paul George don't like he going back to Oklahoma City. I would easily trade Blake Griffin back home to Oklahoma City for nothing. Just give me a 2-year or second-round pick or first-round pick. You guys can have Blake Griffin. I need that money off a bullet. And a lot of people don't like it. I would trade Andre Drummond. This is my opinion. I don't believe the Knicks coach, or any coach in the NBA, unless you're going to dig up, Red Auerbach or bring Phil Jackson back or get Greg Popovich over here. Any coach can't win with this roster. This roster at best is a 6th, 7th, 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. And that's saying a lot. You know, I'm not saying that Andre Drummond is the scum of the earth. I'm just saying that I think he deserves better. I think he reached his potential here. And I think it's time to move him and get some of the substance for him. You might not get the greatest thing for him, but it's time to clear cap space, be a terrible team. Now, if you'd have drafted Donovan Mitchell, you probably would have had a chance. You know, it would have made this roster look a lot better. And Reggie Jackson is the guy a lot of people have been screaming to trade. But at the end of the day, guess what? Reggie Jackson will be here. Nobody wants him. They don't want to buy him out like Josh Smith. He's going to be here. So we could be bad with Reggie Jackson. But at the end of the day, I know Tom Gores has already gave the orders to the guy that's doing the GM and the head coach search, Ed Stefanowski. And the marching orders is they're going to try to run with this core now. They want Blake Griffin to be the ticket seller, the ticket putter, and that's understandable. You know, they want fans to come out and watch Blake Griffin and watch Drummond. But fans know this team don't have a chance to win anything in the NBA and the Eastern Conference. You know, the Pistons started off good last year with Avery Bradley and, Reggie Jackson and Tobias Harris and stuff of that nature. And they started losing. You know, the thing came up about Avery Bradley's little alleged rape thing that went down to 2017 Eastern Conference Finals. And they got panicked and they traded him, okay? So, they was like, oh, this is not working. And they traded everybody, went for Blake Griffin. That was a bad move in my opinion. But I think Blake Griffin can salvage it, but he going to need some help from his guards. And Reggie Bullock on the wing. And as good as Drummond and Blake Griffin is, Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Stanley Johnson, and Reggie Bullock really holds the keys to their success for this Piston team. If they improve and Reggie Bullock and Johnson defend like they're supposed to, Reggie Jackson can defend on the defensive side. He become a better point guard. And Luke Kennard can shoot the rock like we know he can shoot the rock. They will get the 6th or 7th, 8th seed next year, man. But that's not good enough, in my opinion. It's time to blow it up. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I definitely try to still watch the Pistons game. Even 4 or 5 years ago when they was really, really sorry, it just intrigued me. I love the Pistons, man. I just miss when they was good in 2003, 4, and 5. But we in a totally different no man's land. We're not unfamiliar from that. During the 90s, it was horrible with Grant in without him. But don't forget to check the links in the descriptions. Thanks for listening, and we're going to come out with some new content tomorrow. We gone.